Hi everyone, my name is Dawson Romanosky. I'm here to present to you on the effects the Great Depression and World War II had on the automotive industry for our final presentation. The start of the Great Depression was the crash of the economy in 1929. Coming on, the Roaring Twenties led the automotive industry. We were able to purchase cars that most people weren't able to afford previously. The price of vehicles was declining due to the fact of the mass production and everything along those lines. Once the Depression hit, people didn't have the kind of money to spend on vehicles like that anymore. It was just a struggle to get by. The Great Depression was from 1929 to 1933, is what a lot of historians say, but a lot of people look at it as the Great Depression ran all the way up until World War II, and World War II is what really pulled us out of the Great Depression. It had quite a bit of an effect on the automotive industry in the sense that before the Great Depression there were 70 or 80 small independent automotive manufacturers that kind of dwindled off during the Great Depression because they didn't have the numbers to make it. Heading into World War II, the elimination of independents, as I had mentioned earlier, a lot of them had trickled off, really leaving us with the big three and then a few others scattered throughout the country. One of the other ones that was scattered throughout the country was the Bantam Car Company, which played a huge stepping stone into World War II. During World War II, all automotive plants quit producing commercial automobiles. It wasn't for everyday use anymore. Everyone had to focus on the war at hand. So this is a truck that Ford built during World War II. This was a tank that GM built. Ford was one of the few manufacturers that did not want to join the force helping in World War II. They were pretty resilient with it, and it was actually not until they pulled Henry Ford II from the Navy back to run Ford that Ford got on board and started producing the equipment for the war. But as I mentioned earlier, the Bantam Motor Company, they had produced like the deuce-and-a-half trucks, the 2.5-ton military trucks that were used in World War II, and they continued to do that. And then the government wanted something that was lightweight and versatile, and preferably four-wheel drive. And there were very few companies that could produce something like that at the time, as they were still struggling from the Great Depression. Bantam was one of the few companies that did, and they produced the Jeep. The Jeep really, a lot of people say, helped us win World War II in many ways. They actually needed so many Jeeps in the war that the Bantam Motor Company couldn't keep up with the amount. So Ford actually started joining in. This is a Ford GDP right here that they helped produce and help us win the war. After the war was over, America wanted some new designs in their cars, and because production for commercial vehicles had stopped, the molds and everything were still the same as the cars from the late 30s and early 40s. So after the war, there was no new vehicles out on the market. And in that sense, foreign cars started to become popular in America. Like the Volkswagen Beetle was introduced and grew in popularity, along with some Toyota vehicles started coming over. Jeep grew in popularity as a lot of veterans from the war wanted to drive around in something that they used in the war and became comfortable with over there. They thought it would benefit them with farming and multi-use vehicle in a sense, and especially since four-wheel drive wasn't very popular at the time, it really led the way in the four-wheel drive industry. So to kind of recap, the Great Depression really thinned the herd of automotive manufacturers in the United States, weeded out a lot of the independents that weren't as strong as the big three and the ones that had the backing of the government, like the Bantam Motor Company. World War II really helped pull America out of that slump, got the automotive manufacturers back up and running and people working in America. World War II also produced the Jeep, which we still know today and is one of the most popular vehicles sold. And World War II also brought foreign cars to America in the sense that we didn't have anything new and they could offer a new design right away. And that is it. Thank you very much.